Hello everyone, welcome back. So a little bit of a change of pace this week. Many of you that watched last week's video saw the HZ in the background, and a lot of you have asked to have a little bit of a look at it. Many wanted to have a look, many hung crap on me because it was a Holden. Both are legitimate cases, but I thought we'd have a bit of a look over it because it is an interesting car. Now, it was one that was crashed many years ago, and it was a factory ordered car. It's got GTS options in it, and it hasn't done a lot of work. And when I got my hands on it, the car was a complete time capsule. So once it was crashed, it was purchased back from the insurance company, parked up, and that was the end of that. Now, just to show you some of the stuff that it's got the original purchase receipts from 1979. Every rego paper from the car's history until it was crashed was kept. And little things, because it was crashed down in Melbourne, it got, parked up, and it had two kids in the back when it was crashed, and it was a half-drunk Prima in the back of the car, which went out of date on the 7th of June, 1987. So Jeff, who owned the car previously, this was his pride and joy. There's a bit of a story to it, and we'll go through that now, but it's a really cool piece of Australian motoring history, regardless of what badge it's got. So to say Jeff was devastated when this car was crashed is a massive understatement. This car was treated almost religiously while it was on the road. It was washed and polished every Sunday. Every little scratch or mark was buffed out of it, and it was just a really clean HZ Holden. Now, it was Jeff's pride and joy. He factory ordered it like this. As you can tell, he liked green. He put some GTS options into it. It was just a really neat and tidy car. Now, just to show you how well it was maintained, we'll have a bit more of a look in detail, but you can see on the inside of the car, none of this has been restored. This is exactly how it sat when I got the car many years ago. You can see there, all the dash mat and everything is brand new. All the GTS dashboard is the same. It's all absolutely stunning. The clock still works. The AM radio is still in it, exactly how it was back in the late 70s. Even down to the cigarette lighter. You can see there it's never even been heated up. So it's just a really cool piece, and I guess an example of how well these cars were made back when they were made in this country. Given it was such a clean car, many people tried to buy it over the years, myself included, and Jeff said he'd never sell it. Now, he genuinely wanted to see this car back on the road in the form that he ordered it back from the factory in the 70s. Even to the point that he was purchasing genuine Holden parts as time went on to see this car back together. But unfortunately, as time went on and other complications with health meant that the car being restored really wasn't a possibility, and the shed that it was in fell down. Now, I got wind of this inadvertently, and I went to Jeff and asked him if he'd consider selling the Kingswood to me, but this time a little bit differently. I said to him if he'd sell it to me, I'd restore it exactly how he had it. He could play a part in the car's restoration. It wouldn't be a 5-minute job, but it's something that we could do together, and he could see the car go back to its former glory. Now, even that wasn't quite enough, but after a few days, Jeff invited me to come down and have a look at the car, which we did, and I managed to do a deal to purchase the car and get this whole process rolling. So the first thing we did was get the car out of the paddock and get it in out of the weather. And once we pulled the covers off it, which you can see in these photos, every north-facing surface was badly rusted. Although we thought Jeff was doing the right thing by covering it up, the car sweated for a long time. And as you'll see coming up, it wasn't just the external parts of the car that were badly damaged. Now, Jeff handed over the original purchase receipts of the car, and he went back digging through all the information. And as you can see here, it was purchased back the 16th of the 3rd, 1979. He traded in an old Falcon on it, a 66 Falcon, which he said was the biggest heap of junk he ever owned, but that's another story. And you can see here it was factory optioned with a 4-speed manual transmission, console, instruments, tinted glass, metallic paint, and a tow bar to tow the caravan. Now, what's mind-blowing is you look at what people pay for a GTS dashboard these days. They are actually worth less money than tinted glass, which is just, you wouldn't have said that was a possibility many years ago. Another thing Jeff had on it was a sun visor, which we haven't put back on the car because I just can't bring myself to drill into the roof. And it had a really short diff ratio on the back of it to tow the caravan. So it was set up exactly how he wanted it to be. So before we started tearing into the mechanicals of the car, we knew the interior was mint and we wanted to try and preserve as much of that as we could. Now, unfortunately, because the tops of the passenger side doors were open to the elements, some weather did get in and damage the seats and also the top of the glove box, or the center console, I should say. So they had to be retrimmed and we had to run with the closest material we could get. Now you can see that's what they're retrimmed in at the moment. And if we go around to the door cards, these are original and they haven't been preserved or repaired, I should say, in any way. So they're absolutely immaculate, and it's just a shame. The rest of the car was like that, and just being stored over time, some of it did perish away. The only other thing we left is the steering wheel is slightly bent. Now that's obviously happened when Jeff's been hanging onto the steering wheel when it's been hitting the side. This side's lower than that side. I left it. Again, it tells a story, and it's just another little piece of history that goes with the car. If you have a look at the door trims on the back door, it's exactly the same. And believe it or not, even though the passenger side of the car was so badly damaged, if you have a look here, that there is the original door trims. It has got a little bit of damage along the bottom, but I didn't want to throw that whole side away just for the sake of a bit of damage at the bottom. So we've left that on the car. Again, it tells a story and demonstrates clearly another chapter of this car's life. And that's the rear. So all four stay on the car today as they were in 1979. Now the big thing to keep the car original was the engine, and it was completely locked up when I got to it. Now I put a breaker bar on the engine and it did actually break free quite easily and turned over quite well. So we put a battery in it, turned it over, it built up oil pressure but not very well. And once I've pulled the valve covers off, which in hindsight I should have done originally, you can see inside was an absolute train wreck. So because it was covered up, everything sweated and all the lifters had collapsed, the push rods, valve springs, you name it, they were completely toast. But everything else on the car was there. So it still had the original emissions stuff on it. As far as a base, it was really good, but I didn't want to go and grab another engine because it was a matching number car. So over time, stripped the engine down, and once we got the heads off, surprisingly the bores were perfectly okay. So I ended up cleaning everything up, honing it, set of rings. Original pistons actually went back in the car and put it all back together. A decision at the time to leave the car as original as I could, and I didn't want to polish up bits and pieces and make it look brand new. I wanted it to look like a car that had aged over time and keep it original. Whether looking at it now that was right or wrong, because it's been about a decade since the car's gone back together, but it still presents reasonably well that it can be used as a daily driver. As you can tell by the dust and dirt on it, I've had it out today. So the car itself over time was put back together. We did source another body shell, which was a shame. You can see when we did get the doors, the damaged doors off the car, and have a look at the floors inside that original body shell, it was absolutely immaculate. It was all the original Holden primer. It was all there, but it was just too badly damaged, to the point that there was a crease through the rear quarter panel through here. So the car had definitely bananaed. But the original chassis and everything, suspension, diff, everything bar the shock absorbers and springs went back in the car. It's this part of the journey where you realise that these cars are worth so much more than just metal. Over the journey, Jeff was able to get directly involved with the car's restoration, and he was telling stories and reminiscing and saying that when he ordered it, there was options that he wanted to put on it for one reason or another, didn't happen. And these included the trims along the bottom of the sills, a trim along the back of the boot, just little bits and pieces. And we're actually able to install these to the car as it went back together to not only restore the car back to what it used to be, but get it exactly how he would have had it when he factory ordered it if the planets had have aligned. And this also included the white wall tyres on the front and rear and a second exhaust pipe out the back. So it was twin pipe all the way through to give the car just that little bit more of a note. Now over this journey, Jeff was well enough to see the car back on the road, took it to quite a few car shows. Wasn't driving at this stage, but he was able to ride along with us and he was able to show the car off proudly with his receipts and reminisce about the good old days, something that in an ideal world would have happened many years earlier. So today was the first day the Kingswood had been out of the shed for a long time, so much so that I actually had to put a new battery in the car. It's going to sound a bit silly, but the reason why I haven't driven it is the last time it was out of the shed, the car was actually used for Jeff's funeral. And a couple of weeks prior to that, I lent the car to Jeff's family, who surprised him and took him out for one last spin in the Kingswood, which was only a couple of weeks before he passed away. It just goes to show these cars are definitely more than nuts and bolts, and everyone has a unique connection to a car. And this car for me really ignited the passion for seeing these cars back on the road, not just for the cars themselves, but the people behind them. Like the race cars, really the work was done that make these cars iconic many years ago, and all I'm doing is just preserving that work that was done well before my time. Thanks again for following along. I hope you enjoyed the story on the Kingswood. We'll bring you up to speed on all the other projects as they come to hand, and thanks again for watching. I'll speak to you soon.